So, welcome to this eighth session of the training organized by AICTE. The training is titled Leading Self to Excellence, a journey from survival to significance. And we are entering into the session 8, which is the fifth session of Leading Self series. So, at the end of the last session, we were discussing or we were reviewing about tribute statements that people who really matter to us would give for us in the on our 80th birthday. Hmm? So I believe all of us have done that exercise now. And now we will move to the next step. The next step is that we reflect within. Hmm? The second question is that we now reflect within and visualize that there is a steel bar, a steel bar, which is about 6 inches thick. 6 inches is half a foot, just this much. So we imagine a steel bar, which is about 6 inches thick, which is placed between two skyscrapers. Uh, Let us say there are these 10-storied buildings, two 10-storied buildings. In between them, there is a 6-inch steel bar that has been placed. And you are asked to cross that bar. You are asked to cross that bar. What will it take for you to cross it? What should you be given? What would you get? Or what should, for against what? Like against what achievement, against what thing would you be willing to cross that bar? To move from one skyscraper to another. And it could be anything. It could be some money. It could be, a pet, your pet that is stuck on that other building and is dead scared, and you need to go and rescue the pet. It could be your sibling. It could be, getting a world record, so lots of recognition and achievement. So it could be anything. It could be your promise. You may have promised to someone that you would cross this bar if they do something, or if people log mannat mangte hai, oh God, give me this, I will do that. So what would it be? Now, what is that mannat for which you will be, for what thing will you be ready to cross this distance between two skyscrapers over that 6-inch steel bar? Just close your eyes. Imagine that you are standing on the top of a 10-storied building. There is this 6-inch bar right in front of you that takes you to the next building.
It's very difficult to imagine myself on the other side of the edge of the building, right?
Yeah, but just close your eyes, do that, and as you do that, now write down for yourself what this thing is. Once you've written that down, write it down in reasonable detail. Once you've written that down, put a +1 in the chat window. The question is written right here. Imagine that there is a 6-inch steel bar that is placed across two skyscrapers, 10-story tall skyscrapers, and you have to cross this bar. You have to walk from one skyscraper to the other. What would it take for you to cross this bar? And we looked at some examples. It may take you something else. You just close your eyes, imagine that you are standing on that edge of a 10-storied skyscraper, and here you are just about to cross it. What is it that will take, that you will need? Or what is it that will motivate you to be able to cross this bar. So once you are done, put a +1 in the chat window. Okay, I see a large number of us have done this. So those who are still thinking about it, you can take a little more time. Just continue to think and write down your answer. Others who have already written down answer to this question, we can move to the next question now. If you could spend one day in a great library studying anything, what would that be? If you were, door closed, you were just thrown into a library. It has all subjects, every book that could be published under, that has been published ever, that is available in this library. What subject, what topic, which book would you read? What would you want to study? What would you want to know more about? You are like, this is a beautiful library, once in a lifetime opportunity. Yeah, just write down your answer in your notebook. You don't need to write down in the chat window. Any one book, not just one book, anything, any subject. You can write a subject, you can write a book name, you can write whatever. What is it that you would want to learn more about, know more about in this library? Once you are done, put a +5 in the chat window. Once you are done, put a +5 in the chat window. Okay. So now, just reflect within and list down 10 things that you love to do. 10 things that you love to do. It could be, you may love to dance, you may love to sing, you may love to play tennis, solve puzzles, play basketball, clean the car engine, opening up, gadgets. It could be environment, working for environment, gardening, eating good food, cooking good food, talking to friends, visualizing, philosophizing, solving math theorems. So 10 things that you love to do. You may want to think about, when you were 10 years of age, what was it that you loved to do then? And just see if given an opportunity, would you want to do that now also? Just list that down. When you were 15 years of age, what did you love to do then? Would you want to do that now also? Just put that down. You may not have tried it. You may not have done it for the past 10 years, 20 years. Doesn't matter. But if you think you would still love to do it, just put that down. 10 things, any 10 things that you would love to do. Given an opportunity, you'd want to love to do those 10 things. So once you've written those 10 things, put a +10 in the chat window. Once you've listed those 10 things, put a +10 in the chat window. Priyanka, we are continuing from where we left off in the last session. We have not started the quiz yet. We'll do the quiz later. Please be with the session. So once you've listed down these 10 things, please put a +10 in the chat window. You can think about when you were 10 years of age, 5 years of age. 5 years mushkil hoga, it might be difficult to remember 5 years. 20 years, 25 years. You may already know 10 things today. Great. If not, just go back into your life. Even today, you can imagine, oh, I would probably love to do, I've never done this, but I would probably love to do this. Put +10 in the chat window once you list these things down. Those of you already 10 things, you can write 5 more things. But as soon as you write 10 things, put a +10 in the chat window. Be with this activity. Continue to write more things as they come to your mind. Even if it is more than 10, no problem. So I see quite a few of us have written this now. So now, in this last question, we wrote down 10 things that we would love to do. In this question now, you look within your past, you look at the feedback that you may have received from others, and reflect and list down at least 5 things, 10, 20, as much, as many, at least 5 things which you are good at. You could be a good cook, you could be a good orator, you could be a good speaker, you could be a very good at science, you could be very good at poetry, you could be a good poet, anything. 10 things, 10 things that you are good at. Those 10 things could be some of those that you already love. People may be appreciating you for those things. People may not know about those things also. You know that I'm good at it. That is also fine. 10 things that you believe are your strengths. Either you know it from within yourself or from other people telling you, you do this thing very well. Whatever are those 10 things, list down those 10 things. Here are some ideas. They may help, but don't get influenced by them. They are no one's list. You build your list. Once you have put in at least 5 of such things, continue to write more, but put a +5 in the chat window. Continue to write more strengths. You may have 10, 20. All of us are so multidimensional. But as soon as you write 5, I want at least 5. So put at least 5 there, and then continue to brainstorm, continue to think more about it, and add more. Strengths as you see them for yourself. At least 5. As soon as you have 5 listed, 5, put a +5 in the chat window, and then continue to write more. Your friends, your colleagues, your family must have given you feedback, must have told you, praised you about something. Please list down at least 5 strengths as you understand that you have. As soon as you have 5, put +5 in the chat window and continue to write more. You might be a good humorist. You might lighten up the atmosphere around you. You might be very good at presentations, brainstorming, coming up with tangential lateral thinking, ideas, sensing other people's needs, helping others, anything that you believe is your strength, just list it down. Once you have listed 5 things, at least 5 things, you put a +5 in the chat window. Please be with the process. You can continue to write more things even after you've written 5 things. In the chat, you need to write +5 once you've written 5. That's all that we need. Okay. Coming to the next question. Now think of something that represents you. It could be a flower, an animal, a bird, a plant, anything. It could be a rock, it could be the fan, it could be, think about anything, that's something that represents you. And also list down why and how do you think this represents you. For example, if you say that you are a flower, that you are like a rose flower or a jasmine flower, why do you think you are like a jasmine flower? Because you spread fragrance of whatever, of love, of happiness, wherever you are, people around you sense that you are around. Or you're a bird, you're a free spirit, you just love to move around. You're an animal, let us say a dog which is very loyal, very committed, can give its life for its owner, for its master. Whatever you think, whichever animal, bird, plant, whatever. You could say that I'm a mango tree. I give, fruits of my sweetness to everyone around me, whether they give me something or whether they throw stones at me, even then I give them a sweet mango. Whatever it is that you are, that you can, that you relate yourself with. Think about it. You may not have thought about it. Think about it. Once you have done that, once you've written that, put a +2 in the chat window. Please be with the process. I still see some of you are worried about the quiz. I've already requested, don't worry about the quiz. Please be with the process. It could be a rock. It could be a cricket bat. It could be anything. Anything that you think represents you. Pencil, eraser, whatever. Something that you think represents you and the reason why you think it is so. Let us call it your alter ego. So once you've done that, put a +2 in the chat window. Add more details of why you think this thing is like you or you are like this thing. Put in some examples. Just be with the process. Be with this thought. You could be a combination of few things. Just write that down. Once you're done, put a +2 in the chat window. Now, describe a time when you were deeply inspired. Describe a time when you were deeply inspired by something. So, Kush, the previous question between the 10, 10 things you love, the sub question after that was 5 things, at least 5 things that are your strengths. Then we had come to the alter ego question. Now we are on the question of inspiration. Please be with the process. Describe a time when you were inspired, deeply inspired. You know, it could be you heard someone speak something and it really inspired you. It could be you met a transition person, you met someone and that inspired you. It could be that you got some result and you were so inspired by it. It could be that you experienced a failure and that inspired you. Oh, agli baar to I will have to really change it. I will change the world, whatever. When you were deeply inspired, write down, or at least contextualize it. Think about the situation. What had happened? What did you do after that inspiration? Why were you inspired? How did you feel? You had butterflies in your stomach. What did you feel when you were inspired? You were excited, you were enthusiastic, you were energized. What was it? And then once you've written this down, put a +7 in the chat window. To describe a time when you were deeply inspired by something, someone, some event. When you were deeply inspired about something. Contextualize it.
Driving model.
Deeply inspired by something or someone. Even when today you reflect and think about that event, you get goosebumps. So something that really inspired you. Once you're done, put a +7 in the chat window. Now, think of at least 3 people who made a positive difference in your life. See, in our life, we may have met many different kinds of people. And some people, when we met them, they told us something, and that changes the course of our life. It might have really changed the course, or it might have simply inspired you. It might have just had a big impact on you. Now, when you think of these people, you list down at least 3 qualities of each one of them which you cherish. See, someone who you do not respect, someone who you do not value or cherish, whatever they say, it may not touch you. If someone has had a very deep impact on you, it means that you were connected with that person at that point of time. That was when this person could touch your interiority in a big way. It could make a positive difference to your lives. List down 3 qualities of each of these 3 people which you cherish, which you value, which you may want to imbibe within yourself. Because you are inspired by them, because you think, this really made a big difference to you and you would want to bring about that difference to others. Anyways, 3 people who really impacted you in a very positive way, And what were their qualities because of which you loved them, or because of which you cherish them, you respect them, because of which you think this benefited you. Once you are done for all the three people, three traits, put a +9 in the chat window. Three people who had a very strong positive influence on you. And for each of them, there are at least three qualities. If you already written three qualities, you can add more. If you think there are more than three people in your life who have really had a very positive influence on you, list them down also. But at least three people and at least three qualities each is what I want at the minimum. Continue to add more qualities, continue to add more people. These are in a way your role models also. We will come to the role model question also, but yeah. These people had a positive influence on you. Once you're done, put a +9 in the chat window. Now, if you were given an opportunity to spend 1 hour with a person who ever lived, that person may be already dead now, that person may be alive. You could spend 1 hour with that person. Once in a lifetime opportunity. Who would that be? Why? And what would you ask him or her? When you meet this person who is really cherished, revered, and I believe you would want to meet someone who is like that, then why do you cherish this person, or why do you want to meet this person only? That person may be no more. So this answer could be very different from what you had answered in the previous one, in the previous question. So who is that person who you want to spend that 1 hour with? Why? And then what would you ask him or her? You can list down 2 or 3 questions. So once you are done with this, put +4 in the chat window. Now we are at the role model question. If you could spend 1 hour with a person who ever lived, who would that person be? Why? Why would you want to spend that 1 hour with him or her? And what would you ask them? Once you're done with this answer,
Sir, I have a doubt in answering this.
Yes, Rajeshwari.
See, you want us to think about a person whom we feel him or her as a role model, or we can choose any person with whom we wanted to ask specifically something, or we love to spend some time with them.
Yeah. So the assumption is, Rajeshwari, that when you will list down, you have this once in a lifetime opportunity where you get to spend time with one person. That one person could also be Abraham Lincoln or Mahatma Gandhi or Krishna or anyone.
Okay. Okay.
Now, why would you choose that person there? Why
Okay.
did you choose Krishna, for example? And what would
Okay.
you ask him or her?
Okay.
Hmm?
Thank you.
So
Thank you. Yeah.
once you
I
have
understood.
written the answer, put a +4 in the chat window.
Yeah. I am.
So we can choose the person still he's alive.
You can choose a person who is alive. You can say Narendra Modi. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
What is important is why. And what would you ask him or her? Just 1 hour you have. You don't want to waste that time. It's a rare opportunity. What would you ask this person? +4, then you put the answer there. Now, imagine that 5 years from today, a newspaper wants to write about you. 5 years from today, a newspaper wants to write about you, and 3 people close to you, your associates, your family, or whoever, will be interviewed. So you've done something, and 3 people who are benefiting from this, or who are your partners, they are being interviewed for whatever you have done. So what are these 3 people? Who are these 3 people? They could be the beneficiaries of your action. They could be your collaborators. So this is 5 years from now. So if it's a long-term thing that you're working on, it could be collaborators right away. You wrote about some goals in your first tribute statement wala exercise. So it could be some goal that will fructify in that time frame. Just go back, reflect, close your eyes, think about it. At 5 years from today, a newspaper wants to write about you. What is the topic? Who are these 3 people who they will interview for you? And what would these 3 people say about the project, about your role in the project, of how important your contribution to that project was or is, that activity, that whatever. So once you've written an answer to this question, put a +6 in the chat window. Three people who are close to you, they will be interviewed. List down the roles that these 3 people have and what are they going to speak about you. Once you write down the answer to this question, put a +6 in the chat window. Put a +6 after you've written down that, the the title of your this news article, why these people are being interviewed, who these people are. Imagine the situation. Keep writing about what they are saying about you. Let's say this is a full page interview, full page news article about you. So they can be speaking a lot and the newspapers will be publishing a lot. So continue to write more, be in that mode. Be in that mode where we are looking at what contribution you have made to life, to society, to people around you, to their lives. Be in that mode. So now, those of us who have written answers to all these questions, I would want you to spend 2 minutes to go back to that page where you wrote the key roles that you play, the key people in your life's name, the names of key people in your life, the tribute statement that they are going to give you, or what you may want to do to make that truth statement as a reality, something in your circle of influence. Then we talked about what motivates you. Why would you cross that 6-inch steel bar between two skyscrapers? Then we talked about your strengths. We talked about what you love to do. We talked about your strengths. We talked about what inspired you, what inspires you. We talked about qualities of people who you cherish. Just go through all these. Just go through all these answers that you've written. 2 minutes, just be with yourself. Spend time with yourself. Reflect, review on what you've written as responses to these questions. So now what I will do is I will play a video. I will play a video. This is a very beautiful video. What it says is that your life is a empty canvas. It is, both लोग कहते हैं ना, that your life is an empty canvas and you are the artist there. You choose what strokes you want to draw. What is it that you want to draw in the first place? And the video is for about 3 minutes and it will end after 3 minutes. After that, the music will continue to play for another 5 minutes. So after the video ends, I want you to just start writing in your notebook about what you think your life is about. We've been in this zone, we've been in this mode for some time now. We've reflected within ourselves, introspected. Now just start to write down, what is it that you visualize your life to be? What is it that your life mission statement is? What is the character of your life? What is it that you want to build? What is it that you want to create of this beautiful thing, this beautiful life that we have with us? So continue to write. Just keep writing. Whatever comes to your mind, just keep writing. Now, it may happen that you get blocked a little. So just keep your pen and pencil, whatever it is, just keep it moving. The way our hands and brain is connected, if you keep the pencil moving, more thoughts will automatically come. Okay. So you may just flip the pages, keep the pencil moving, flip the pages and see, okay, this is also one thing that I wrote. This is also one thing, and write more. So at least for 5 minutes, I want you to write. Okay. So I'm switching over to the video now. Please be with the video until the video is playing. And then once the music starts to play, you just write. This would be a draft mission statement. Okay. So here it is. Would you want more time to do this, or is it okay? You can take 1 more minute, and when you are done, put a +2 in the chat window. So, all of us, how was our experience in this exercise? Hmm?
Experience that had given us a glimpse of our own life, some points which we have never analyzed or realized. So
Mhm.
some person to whom we know, but we are not very much sure that whether they are impacting our life or not. So thank you for such a good, wonderful exercise. Lot of the things, new things to think now and
Mhm.
work on.
Great. Thank you, Vishal, for sharing. Thank you, everyone who are sharing in the chat window. I'm reading all of that also. Thank you. Menka?
Uh, with this exercise, I came to know about myself and I discovered the qualities to whom I feel are my mentor or means ideal, and got time to think about them as I know I like this person, I wanted to be like this, I want to do like this, but got the time to think about that. Otherwise, it was just a thought in the mind. Now it is clear why. So that's awesome.
Thank you, Menka, for sharing. Kush?
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, Kush, you're audible.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, I will just like to share my experience that I have been residing outside of my home or family from class 6. Still I am residing outside. This was just a journey. This is just a glimpse of all my journey from my childhood to till today, and also a vision of 30 years ago or before 30 years, how and what I could be doing. It was really very mesmerizing and very awesome experience. And one of my dream, which I used to see in my childhood, that what I would be doing at the earliest. So all those memories, all those collections of my ideas, just hovering over my mind, sir, and really indeed very awesome.
Thank you for sharing, Kush. Thank you. Anyone else would want to speak and share? I'm already reading your notes in the chat window. Thank you for sharing there also. But if you'd want to speak, please feel free.
Sir, yes, some of these questions actually triggered the thought of many things we are writing about ourselves only, but still it is giving a totally a unique dimensions in which we can optimize our results better in the near future. And it is also setting some context in which we can use our potentials or gives us a direction towards our near future. And this exercises actually will help us to make our life better and meaningful, because it is actually giving a direction to think about ourselves and be more practical.
So this
No?
is clarifying that center, the blue
Yes,
center
yes,
that we have.
yes, yes.
You can use it to power your, to get that sense of security, to power, to get that guidance, that
Very
sense
true.
of
Very true.
power, and that sense of wisdom.
Yes, sir. Very.
This is what this thing can do to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing,
Thank
Rajeshwari.
you. Thank you.
Vanita?
Yes, sir. I would like to confess over here that this session is it's very meaningful and beautiful. And the last 5 minutes when I was writing, I could feel tears rolling down my eyes, because now I was thinking about self, and from mere existence, it would be a journey from survival to significance. जीना कहीं बहुत पहले छोड़ दिया था, वो अब वापस शुरू करना है.
Thank you for sharing, Vanita. Thank you. Surya?
Well, while writing the life mission statement, I realized that I was more of a reactive rather than a proactive person. So question is that whether this life mission statement can help me become a proactive person, or is it a habit that I cultivate, or there's some issue in the principles? No, of
So-
course, principles are universal, so there's no change in the principles. So can you help me with that?
Yeah, be proactive is the first habit. But all these first three habits will reinforce each other. So the second habit will feed the first habit, but it requires proactivity to live, to even think about this mission statement. That you were in this session, that you spent time in this session, in itself indicates that you took the initiative, is it not? That in itself is an indicator of, so as we said, it is a spiral that we have, spiral of growth. We might be proactive in some dimension, we might be reactive in other dimension. By being proactive in whatever dimension we are proactive in, by operating in our circle of influence, wherever we are, we will gradually increase the circle of influence. So you will gradually become more and more proactive by living this statement, by utilizing the tools that we'll talk about in the habit 3 to make this a reality. So habit 1, 2, and 3 will actually have a synergistic reinforcement for each other. So they will help to be more proactive. Habit 3 will help to be living more with the end in mind. Habit 3 will also help to be more proactive, and being proactive helps you to live habit 3 more effectively. So they are reinforcing habits. This is a virtuous loop. You just need to be conscious and aware that this is where you want to go, and that is where the mission statement can help you. Does that help?
No, but can somebody's life mission statement can be to just be proactive? No.
Yes, we will see some examples. Let us see. I will just come to a few examples, and see, all of us are different people. All of us can choose different things, and it could be that. Let us see.
So, but your proactivity is one habit which will be common to all the successful people as per the Stephen
Yes.
Covey.
Yes.
Okay.
I said this when I introduced habit 1, and I always say this whenever I talk about these 7 habits. I always say that if you just start to live the habit 1 in its true essence, you are already done. There's no stopping you. Because if you're always operating in your circle of influence, then realize that to make plans and live by those plans is also in your circle of influence, is it not? So all the other habits will automatically fall in place if you take care of habit 1. Atul?
Anuj,
Yes, Seshu.
many miles to go before I sleep.
Indeed. Atul? Okay. So what we created just now, it is our draft mission statement. This is not the final mission statement. As Stephen also said in his video that arriving at a final mission statement may take multiple iterations. I can share with you my example. When I wrote my mission statement for the first time, it was like, so the draft was around 2 pages. You have written around 2 pages. Then, I spent another half an hour to review that draft and summarize it. Plessy writing that we used to do in class 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. So I summarized that 2 pages into 1 paragraph. The next time I read it, this 1 paragraph reduced to something like 2 sentences. The next time I read it, it was 1 sentence. And the present state of my mission statement is not even a sentence. It's 6 words, 7 words. I've just connected them, arranged them in a way which is very meaningful for me. So you have to kind of go through this over and over again. You should refine it over and over again. So it's not that what you've written now is constant in life, is it? Some of you may not be married. Some of you may not have children yet. Some of you may not have grandchildren yet. As life progresses, you will play different additional roles. So it is important to review this mission statement or go through this process over and over again. So this video will be online on my channel. There is also another video which simply takes you through the life mission statement, reestablishes the context of principles and takes you through the life mission statement, help you build the right mission statement. So you can go through this exercise again after 6 months, 1 year, whenever you want to, whenever you feel like, but at least once in 2 years, it is desirable that you review your mission statement. And you go through this exercise, you write a draft mission statement in this process, and then you refine it. I will just share with you some examples of some mission statements, and you don't need to follow them. Your mission statement is your mission statement. I've seen mission statements where people have just drawn 1 painting, and that's what summarizes it for them. When they see that painting, it inspires them. Some people just write a small poem, and that is what inspires them. What is desirable is you just keep it in front of you, where you sit, on a table, wherever it is, just keep it in front of you so that you're inspired. Whenever you read it, you are inspired. Whenever you feel down, whenever there is anything, whenever you are in need of energy, enthusiasm, just read it again and be inspired again. Let it be the one that gives you that strength, that power, that guidance. So I will just share with you some mission statements of some people. Example, my mission is to live with integrity and to make a difference to the lives of others. 1 sentence. To cultivate a universal responsibility for one another and the planet we share. This is the mission statement of Dalai Lama. One person wrote, I want to become a person my dog thinks I am. A teenager wrote, nothing less. It could be very long. For example, my mission is to give. For giving is what I do best. And I can learn to do better. I will seek to learn, for learning is the basis for growth, and growing is the key to living. I will seek first to understand, for understanding is the key to finding value, and value is the basis for respect, decisions, and action. This should be my first act with my wife, my family, and my business. I want to help influence the future development of people and organizations. I want to teach my children and others to love and laugh, to learn and grow beyond their current bounds. I want to build personal, business, and civic relationships by giving in frequent little ways. So this is mission statement of one person. He did not want to put in that effort to shrink it down. He said rather I would read it entirely and and strike a balance in all the different dimensions I want to see. Families write mission statements. For example, one family wrote, to always be kind, respectful, and supportive of each other. You know, our family's mission statement is to always be kind, respectful, and supportive of each other, to be honest and open with each other, to keep a spiritual feeling in the home, to love each other unconditionally, to be responsible, to live a happy, healthy, and fulfilling life, to make this house a place we want to come home to. Again, a big one, or a so simple one, no empty chairs. That when we sit for a meal, all of us are there together. We have our meals together. Probably inspired by the proverb that the family that prays together stays together. They said the family that eats together, you know, when we eat together, we pray to God that, you know, we ask for grace together, and we want to be all there when we have our meals. At least whoever is in town, let us all be there. I remember that the mission statement of our HR, you know, I mentioned that I worked with ST Microelectronics for about 18-19 years before joining academia. So the mission statement of the HR was every employee engaged. And I tell you that before this mission statement was there, our experience of our HR was, you know, one thing. And once this mission statement was established at that organization level, whenever I went into the HR block or to discuss with anyone, I could feel that people were enthusiastic to support us. There was such a joy. It was such a joy to interact with them after this mission statement was established by them for themselves. So when we talk of family or organizations' mission statements, it is best that all the people should get involved in making them. A mission statement cannot be imposed on anyone. Like in your personal mission statement, you are so actively and deeply involved. That is where it makes any meaning to you, is it not? So if you really want to make a mission statement for your family or for your organization, involve people in it. That is the only way to arrive at a statement which is meaningful for all of you. But yes, you will have to refine it. It can be one simple short line, short sweet line. It could be a prose, it could be poetry, it could be a painting, anything. I could not add paintings here, but yeah, anything. Okay. So any thoughts, any ideas, or we can go to the quiz. Already so many of you are asking for the quiz link.
Anuj, I think this family mission, I have heard for the first time, and I really like this kind of thing being practiced in our families. I think I'll definitely share it with my kids and my family members and start this kind of family mission.
Yeah. So
I think, yes, this is going to be very good for my kids as well.
Yeah.
This
It's
is
not
something
easy.
what we are practicing with us at the age of 40 plus. But I think for them, it would be something they get it much before. So maybe they can reflect on themselves much better than what we are doing it today.
Yes, I also totally agree with ma'am what she just shared, that I, being a total family oriented person, I can really, we can revive, I feel that we can revive our bonding, with our close ones,
Yes.
right? This is how
I'm
we
really
are
excited
transferring,
to see this.
values to our kids, how they need to take care of, the coming generations, right? So this is the
Yes.
treasure we are going to leave with them, I
Yes.
believe. Thank you
So
so
in
much.
fact, there is a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective Families, where we will have the process of forming a family mission statement. It is very similar to what we just did, but see, these questions are all very specific to us as individuals. You may want to use slightly different questions. I may have some list of such questions. If you are interested, just reach out to me separately later. I can find that list out and I can share with you. But yeah, the same questions will not work. even if you have teenagers, for example, who you would want to make a mission statement for themselves, I would recommend that there is a separate video on my channel. You can use that video with them. It's called My Personal Compass. You can use that. That will help them. Vanita?
Yes, Anuj, I would feel very happy if you share all these links on the current WhatsApp group so that we can avail them and we can share them.
Yeah. So I've already shared the playlist link now on the WhatsApp group. So
No,
same channel.
about the 7 habits of highly effective families and the questions for teenagers.
Oh,
Those
so
questions
this is the book.
Yeah. But you are talking about some questions, I think.
Yeah, I do not have those questions recorded anywhere. I have them somewhere. I do not know. I will have to search for them, Vanita. I will search for them and I will share.
If it is convenient and handy
Yeah.
for you to reach them, then please share on the WhatsApp group.
Sure.
Thank
we will do that. Okay. So now we come to the next part, which is the quiz. So I will share the link of the quiz here. Just give me a moment. You can already copy paste it and use it, or I'm sharing the link. Just a second. Oh, sorry. I want to share it with everyone. I sent it as a direct message to someone. Yeah, you have the link now. Once you're done with the quiz, it's a short quiz, again, a very short one. Once you're done with the quiz, please put a +1 in the chat window. Okay. So once you're done with the quiz, you can put a +1 in the chat window. So I see many of us have done the quiz. So let's move now to the next step, the next habit of leading self of private victory. The next habit in this sequence is, who will say? What is the habit third? Habit 3? Still busy with the quiz? So many have put a +1 in the chat window. I'm audible?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Put first things first.
Sorry.
It's put first things first. And this is the habit of integrity and execution. Habit 1 was the habit of? Habit 1 was the habit of choice. Habit 2 was the habit of? Vision. Habit 3 is the habit of integrity and execution. It says that, the principle of habit 3 is that effectiveness requires the integrity to act on your priorities. Integrity to act on your priorities. Now that you have your mission statement with you, do you think it will be easy to define your priorities in life? Do you think if you come across a fork, you will be able to choose this path or that path, depending on what your mission statement tells you?
Yes, much better position.
Yes. So this is what habit 3 does. Habit 3 is about having the integrity to act on our priorities. See, until you have done habit 2, habit 3 is just limited to time management. But once you have habit 2, habit 3 can be transformational in nature. Because now you can use this time management tools that we will just now talk about to really create the life the way you want it. So what is the ineffective paradigm? The ineffective paradigm is I put urgent things first. The effective paradigm is I put important things first. So what do you need to do? As a part of this habit, you need to focus on important things. Eliminate the unimportant things from your life. You need to plan on a weekly basis. And then while you plan on a weekly basis, you also plan on a daily basis, so that you on a regular basis realign your activities, realign your actions and bring them in line with your priorities, with your mission statement. So what do you get when you live the habit 3 in your life? You obviously increase productivity and you are more organized. You experience fewer crises. You get a reputation for follow through. Oh, this person never misses things. And there is more balance, and there is what do you say, better peace of mind that you would experience when you would live habit 3 in its totality. So any questions?
I would like to share an experience, if you don't mind, sir.
Yes, please.
I remember when I took over as a study examination, I used to get bogged down with the work, so much work to do. How will I get through with it? What will happen? But I had a very good friend in the school administration, the school administrator who gave me a daily planner. He said, write down one day earlier what you are going to do the next day. Mark what you have achieved, mark what is left, carry it over. That helped a lot, daily planning.
Yes. So that is essentially about time management. And we did not yet have the mission statement in place, is it not? We just had, okay, we want to achieve, so we have a begin with the end in mind, but not really the mission statement. If Meghla, that helped you then realize what it will do now.
No, I'm still continuing with it.
Yeah. So you see, yeah. And now using these tools with the mission statement also in place, it can really be transformative. You will see.
Yes, it is.
Very different and positive.
If I write it down, I remember, I know what I have to do, what I'm planning, what I mean to achieve, and I can do it.
Yeah. Thank you, for sharing, Meghla. Thank you for sharing. Vanita, you have your hand raised. Vanita, you want to share something? Yeah.
Yes, Anuj, I wanted to share the other way around, that although I make a daily planner, but the first thing which I displace in the hustle bustle of life is my daily planner.
Yeah, that is where the integrity part comes, Vanita.
Yeah, and I so many times I've tried to keep aligned with that, but then so many things to do, and it's just a race against time. So then where do I fail? I don't understand.
Yeah, many people fail there, and that is what we will look into. That is the first thing that we will look into today, just now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anuj?
Yes.
Can you please explain me why urgent things you have put in ineffective paradigm?
We'll just see. Wait. Dinesh? Vishal, you want to say something?
No, just want to say that urgent things, because they may be not on priority of ours. It may be priority of for others also. So that is a ineffective paradigm. That I think.
Okay, we will just look into that.
Yeah.
So thank you for leading me to the next slide. The next slide is actually about what we call as a time quadrant matrix. So there are 4 quadrants here. And how are these 4 quadrants made? On the y-axis, I have put important and not important. And on the x-axis, I have put urgent and not urgent. So what will be the kind of activities in quadrant 1? Activities which are both important and urgent. So can you list a few such activities for me? Some activities which you know are important and also urgent when they come. Important and also urgent. when they come.
We have to set a question paper for students on time based.
So that is important, but is it urgent? You know about the time
Yeah,
schedule
if the time
2 months
time
in
schedule
advance.
is given, yeah, time schedule is given, so that is why it's urgent. If not given, then definitely it's not that much urgent.
No, if you have to do something 1 month in advance, if there is a unit test 1 month later, is it urgent to make the question paper now?
Sometimes we get the time limit that till this date we have to submit. So for us, it is urgent. For university level, it may not be. But time limit is there, so our responsibility to respond within a time limit.
Okay, we will see. So what else?
Some of the unexpected health issues, which is we face or our close family member face.
Medical emergencies. You know, they are important, and because they are family and you, and they're urgent also. You know, you need to pay attention to them right away. If you do not pay attention to them, there will be a crisis. So in quadrant 1, we're essentially talking about things which are crises, which are pressing problems, which are deadline driven projects, meetings, reports, and stuff like that. Firefighting. If there is a fire in the house, you have to, whatever you are doing, you have to leave everything else and handle it, manage it. Is it not? So quadrant 1 is about firefighting. It's about handling crises, pressing problems, deadline driven stuff, and so on. Quadrant 2, what would you include in quadrant 2? Things which are important but not urgent.
Our routine tasks in our workplace.
Routine
we know it might not be so urgent. We would have planned it properly, means it will not become urgent. We will be always ready with that.
But they are important also. So not all routine tasks would come here.
Yes.
For example, this 5-day session, you knew about it well in advance. A few of you registered just now, a few days back, but others knew about it and you planned your schedule around it. Is it not?
Yes, yes.
You felt it is important. You planned things around it, so it was no longer urgent.
Yeah, because it is coming during this holiday, so we will be able to manage our work schedules also.
So things which you plan around, you know, for example, there was this example of making test papers. You know that the university will request for test papers in this time frame. They will anyways ask, because the tests are expected to be done in December or in May. You can already prepare the test paper in advance. You don't need to wait for them. You can plan time for it. So it becomes quadrant 2. It is no longer a crisis. You already plan for it. You do it at your peaceful leisure and do it. Why turn it into a crisis?
But Anuj, will you agree with me? Like, even we have planned, we registered on time. These 5 days, if unpredictable, life is so unpredictable. Any urgent thing, right?
Yeah. So that urgent thing would be in Q1, but this training still remains in Q2. This was already planned.
So we need to have space for that urgent thing, right? You know,
yes, we will just look at that.
Just in that, yes.
We will just look at that also. But that is Q1. For Q1, you will have to leave Q2 also at times. But this training would still be considered as Q2 because you planned around it. You planned it.
Yes.
You see? Something that you plan, something that you are able to plan, that would be Q2. Something that you have to pay immediate attention to, that is Q1. So other examples of Q2 things?
Our routine bills and other.
Yeah, those bill payments. Yes, thank you, Rajeshwari. Vanita?
Yes, Anuj, there are so many things to do at the same time. The so-called multitasking, it has frustrated me to the extent that I feel like running away to Guruji's ashram. So how to handle that?
But more things will pile up, Vanita, if you do this.
No, but then I'm already doing it. Like, I have a planner, I want to do things on time, but then they give so many things to do on time. Like, you have to attend your domestic.
We will see how to handle this. We will see how to handle this. We will see how to handle this. But let us first focus on what is Q2, because once we understand Q2, then we know how to handle what. Because you may need to handle Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 things in a different way.
Yes, sir. I also have a doubt related to this, similar to this. I'll ask at the end. Now, how to manage in those circumstances?
Yeah, we will do. First understand, let us get the taxonomy right, and then we can talk in terms of that taxonomy.
Sure,
So preparation, preparation, preventive health checkups. Preventive health checkups are Q2. No one, you're not expected to do them, but you still do them. Attending sessions like this, spending time with your family, that is Q2. Recreation, going out, enjoying, that is Q2. Going within, reading something that kind of rejuvenates you, values clarification, all that is Q2. Now, what would be not important but urgent? Not important but urgent.
Clothes for dry cleaning?
Mm,
No, not at all.
not
Not
important.
at all. No,
See,
not
we
at all.
see-
Wrong.
We see someone is in some medical emergency, so urgently we need to give attention by considering humanitarian aspect.
Yeah, but is it not
Will that-
important to do that? It is also important, no?
Maybe the telephone ringing. It's not.
We are in this session and the phone is ringing. Unknown number. You do not know if it is important or not. You may want to pick, even if it is a known number, you may want to pick it up and first thing, I'm busy with something. Can you please tell me what is the topic? Is it something very important that I need to handle? And let the other person respond. And then you can say, oh, can I talk to you half an hour later after I finish this? So phone calls you can manage like this. Even if you pick it up immediately, you can just put them in abeyance if they are not important. They clearly are urgent because abhi aa rahi hai. Or if you think that, okay, I know the agenda of this person, I will call him back, then it is not even urgent. Meghla?
Yeah, getting teenagers to do their homework.
So is it not important?
Not important for you because they are responsible for themselves. They are teenagers, but it is urgent.
Yeah, it is urgent. Very true. So you do not do their homework.
Anuj,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Anuj, I'm just sharing a present example. Now it's raining here, I can see, and my towel is drying outside. It's really urgent for
Yes.
me to go and get the towel.
Yeah,
But it's
go
not
rush.
important. Let it get
For Q1, you will leave everything else. See, as I said, if there is a fire, you have to leave everything and douse the fire.
Yes.
You know?
But that's
So Q1,
important. But
Q1
getting
is
the towel
firefighting.
wet, it's not important. But it's good if I can get it from
So
outside.
that depends on you. If you have a dryer in your washing machine, you will
Yeah,
say,
it's
oh,
not important. Yeah,
it's not important. Let it
at
be.
all.
I am focusing on Q2 now. So Q3 things would be things which are not important. They are needless interruptions, unnecessary reports, unimportant meetings, phone calls, mails, emails, other people's minor issues. Has it happened you were working, you're kind of grading your classes, answer scripts, a colleague comes in, chal yaar chai pee ke aate hain, there is some gossip I have to share with you. Has it happened? You're making the question paper, let us say this. Question paper for the upcoming exam. You're working in Q2. And a friend comes up and says, chal chai pee ke aate hain. That's urgent because this person is standing on your head. From the mode in which this person is talking to you, it sounds not important. Now, if this person comes, a friend comes and looks devastated, is completely, out of his or her regular self and says, yaar, chai ke liye chal sakta hai. Can you come along with me for a cup of tea? Now, same request. But looking at this person's face, you sense there is something urgent, something important that is missing. And you know this is Q1. Are you able to see this?
Yes.
Chaitra, you have your hand raised.
Yes, sir. Like lengthy meetings with no clear purpose. That can be one example for not important and urgent.
Yes, because meeting is there, you are there, but they're talking crap. You don't even know why this meeting is there.
Yes. Sir. Yes.
Thank you for sharing, Chaitra. Any other thoughts? Because this quadrant is also very, very tricky quadrant. We have to steer clear of it. Surya? Roli?
Yes, I just wanted to ask, not important means not important for ourselves, but then it may be important for someone else.
Yeah.
For
Someone else,
example,
it could be important. For your manager, it could be very important. See, for your manager, it could be very important, but not important for you. Now, because it is important for your manager, it could become important for you. It could happen for your student, it may be not important. For your student, it may be very important, but not important for you. Can
So
happen.
will that remain in Q3 or it will go to Q1 in that case?
So if it was your manager,
not important.
So if it was your manager, by the virtue of it being important for your manager, it may become important for you. But when it is the student, now it is tentative. If it, again, as I said, a friend comes up, if the tone is like, oh, he's ready to gossip, then you may say it's not important. I'm working on something which is more important. But if the tone is really distressed, then you may think that it is important, because then there's something that is bothering this person. So there's no one answer to it. You have to assess it in the situation and then ascertain whether it is important or not important. Urgent it is. Urgent, so I think it is very clear to make out what is urgent, what is not urgent.
Yes, sure.
Importance is something, especially for urgent things. We kind of assume that an urgent thing is also important. That is the way our brain is programmed. So we have to consciously, with self-awareness, challenge ourselves and ask, is this really important? And then in the fourth quadrant, not important, not urgent, what would you put there? Trivia, busy work, irrelevant phone calls, emails, mails, excessive TV, internet, relaxation, all of this is Q4. So there are names for these quadrants. Quadrant 1 is called the quadrant of necessity. You have to manage it. It's a firefighting quadrant. You cannot steer clear from it. You have to handle it. Quadrant 2 is the quadrant of effectiveness, because only when you prepare, you plan, you prevent crisis, that you have a joyful and an effective life. So this is called the quadrant of effectiveness. This is where your focus should be. Quadrant 3 is the quadrant of deception. Activities in quadrant 3 can deceive you as if they are important also. You have to avoid this quadrant at all costs. Quadrant 4 is called the quadrant of excess or waste. You have to limit it. People who spend a lot of time in the firefighting quadrant, necessity quadrant, automatically after that firefighting jump into that excess or waste. And they just toggle between the two. However, if you focus your energies on the quadrant of effectiveness, then you will be able to reduce crisis. You will be able to handle your life in a much more systematic way. The guideline is to always stay above this line. So only put your energies in things which are important to you. They could be urgent, they may not be urgent, but things which are important to you. Okay? Ideas, thoughts, questions?
Anuj, we do this time quadrant matrix and time management skills during our communication classes, but this particular slide, I am more clear how to explain it to my students. So deception and these particular words, the words do have their own impact. So I'm very clear how to, I have dated myself. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Anuj, one question I want to ask.
Yes, Subramaniam.
Now the 10 o'clock is the exam for the students.
Yes.
So 9:30 when student came, urgent doubts. The same time principal called for urgent meeting. Which I should give the importance? Both are important.
So this is where your life mission statement comes in handy. You see, in your life mission statement, you may have written something about your relationships, about your like as a teacher, why are you a teacher? Are you a teacher for handling that administrative work that your principal may be telling you, or are you a teacher for supporting students to learn?
Yeah, actually students only give importance, but principal called urgent, very, very urgent, serious.
So may I?
Yeah. Yes, please.
In that case, we can do one thing. We can talk to the principal, and principal sir will never deny that you have to, first of all, clear the doubt of the child, and then you can come and join the meeting or any urgent work. If we are talking to principal, I think he will solve our problem.
Yeah. Thank you.
See, what happens is we have to realize that our college has a mission. What is that mission? To impart knowledge. Any other thing will come after that, is it not?
Yeah, correct.
So clarification with your manager, with your principal, with your boss about, is this really important? Is this really that urgent? I'm handling something which is in Q1. Is this also in Q1? Or should I come to you just 10 minutes later?
Anuj, for such meetings, we always do get substitutions. So if yes, mentor coordinator or academic coordinator has to attend a lot of meetings. So in that case, we put a lot of, all the faculties are there. So we always request other faculty to take up the session.
Yeah.
So it's a routine.
The situation that he put in that case, probably only he was the one who could clarify the doubt of the student. It was his subject or something like that.
So we have in today's time makeup sessions. We have even after college time, right?
Yeah.
Because of the online sessions, we can manage with.
Yes. So whatever it is, what is very important is to clarify. It is important to clarify. This is a quadrant of deception. Q3 will appear as important because it is coming urgently to you. It is very important to clarify with these urgent activities and discern whether they are important or only only urgent. Okay, and then you will be able to place them appropriately.
I think priority can take precedence in all such situations, which is of high priority.
Yeah, and that would be defined by your mission statement.
Okay.
That would be defined by your mission statement. That is why we wrote the mission statement before this habit.
Okay, sir. Normally, in our role conflict, we will have such kind of a dilemma actually. So if the principal's task is even much more urgent, we can ask, like ma'am said, we can ask any other student to clarify the doubt for this student. We can substitute. We can see the alternative. If we can replace our role in principal's task, we will replace there. If we can substitute the students' doubt clarification task, we have to do that. So role conflict, we normally apply this.
See, that is where habit 1 comes into picture. Being resourceful, taking the initiative. That is where habit 1 comes into picture. You see? So we are now relying on the strengths that we have developed in the previous habits to be able to discern whether this is Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and then put our energies there. That is why this is called the habit of integrity. You have to do it every time. And execution. And then then you focus your energies on the green quadrants, the quadrants of necessity and that of effectiveness. If a student's doubt could be handled by someone else, then it is clearly not important for only you to handle it. You could actually put in a substitute. Or if principal's request could be handled by someone else, you could tell the principal, see, I'm handling something which is very important as of now. If what you are telling me is not as important and can be handled by someone else, can you ask someone else to do it? So this is what this quadrant matrix empowers us to do, to even be able to say no very respectfully without hurting anyone. Many times I've seen people are afraid of saying no to their managers, to the principal. Oh, principal sir ne kaha, how can I say no? No, that is.
It's very important. It's very important. We should all, even I have learned during the, recently, and I'm imbibing this. If I am not at the cost of my peace of mind and just to please others, because somehow I was like, no, other person would mind this. So I have to say yes.
Yes. See,
Even if my
you can
colleague
say a
also,
no.
right?
See, Stephen very strongly says that you can say a no only when you have a very strong yes burning within you. And where does that yes come from? That yes comes from your mission statement. Your mission statement tells you this is important, more important than that. Therefore, I will say no to it. Even if it is coming from a person of much more power and influence. Because this is important. This is important. This is my mission statement. This is my constitution. That is where habit 2 comes before habit 3. Are you able to see this?
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, as you all were complaining, kitni sari activities hain, how to plan them, we'll see a short video where the incumbent is also struggling with so many things, just like you and I do. So let us just watch the short video. It's a very interesting one, and let's take it forward from there. Then, give me a moment.
Your name is
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. You have a work life,
I do.
family life as well. Children?
Not yet.
Not yet. What's the nature of your work assignment?
I direct an international firm.
An international firm. So you really are interfacing with all kinds of people in the firm and outside the firm.
That's right.
You want a rich personal life and a rich family life. Do you ever feel like you get bogged down in the thick of thin things?
Yes.
Well, that might be analogous to all these little, small things that tend to fill our life. And that just little by little, they just accumulate. Now, your job, you can't go above this, is to get all those large rocks in the jar. Good luck. What's that one called?
Q2, planning, preparation.
Right. Planning, preparation, prevention, and empowerment. Okay, the next rock she's putting in there is called relationships and family. You didn't look at that third rock you put in there. That's employment, some key employment issue, and then you put major projects here. I can't get it above there.
I haven't worked it yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's fair. That's called service, community, church. Do you ever feel like this?
Yes.
How many feel like this? By moving the little things around, you might squeeze in one more of those big major things. It's almost, wow, that is good. You know, if it doesn't fit, force it. Here's something that's called urgent and important. It's a quadrant 1 thing that is blindsiding you, that it's your biggest client, that if you don't get back to that client now, you've given up your vacation. And you have no special block of time just for yourself. I'll tell you what you can do if you want to. You can take a whole different approach. You have a totally fresh bowl. You can work out of a different paradigm altogether.
Well, then I'd rather put these in the bottom. And then pour the little pebbles on top.
Employment,
Big opportunity,
big opportunity.
important and urgent, block of time. Those young children keep looking at me. My husband's not here. No, I don't these in there.
Okay.
Mr. Anuj, can I tell one thing? The same was done by my wife. When she was teaching in MSc students, she put the sand, water, and pebbles. How you fill it? So that it like this one: first pebbles, next sand, next water filled. So give the priority to fill all those things.
Yes. So these are the big rocks, your family, the 8 roles, the roles, including the role to yourself, the 8 roles that you identified, they are the priorities. That is why you identified them as important roles. A few of you may have identified a few more roles also.
Yeah,
so those are the big rocks. And if you do not take care to plan the big rocks first, the week would be full. And then
correct.
The small pebbles will just fill up your days, and lots of important things will start to fizzle out, will not be there. You will not be able to live your mission statement. So the idea over here is that these big rocks are the important, the green quadrant activities. And these have to be planned first. They have to be given space in your schedule, in your time planners first. And then you go to the pebbles, the small ones. They will fill in whichever space is available. They are not important to you anyways. Thoda sa reh bhi jayega, to what's the big deal? So with that, what is said is that we have to plan on a weekly basis. For example, we thought of this 5-year goal or 3-year goal or something like that. What is important is to break that 3-year goal into smaller time frames. That, okay, if this is what I want to achieve in 3 years, then in first year, I should have achieved this. Second year, I should achieve this. Third year, this is when the final result will come. Then in the first year itself, okay, at the end of Q1, I should do this. At the end of Q2 or at the end of first semester, I should do this. By the end of second semester, then I will be able to achieve there. First mid-semester exam or before the mid-semester break, after the mid-semester break, all that. So these are big chunks of time in which you can broadly plan, chalk out a path to your final goal. Then from what you want to achieve, say, let us say within the first mid-semester break, you list down small activities, something which can be achievable within a month or a week. And then those big vision items which you had kept for 5 years or 3 years, they become manageable, small bite-sized thing which you can plan at a monthly or a weekly level. So many times, people have goals. I want to do PhD. Okay, if you want to do PhD, then you need to do something. You need to prepare for the exam. You need to cover 10 topics or whatever. So you break up those big goals into smaller ones, which are more bite-sized, something that you can handle within the period of a week or a month, and then plan time for those actions on a weekly basis. Review the progress on a regular basis so that you know that you are on track. Basically, what is very, very important is to show the initiative and the integrity to execute on your priorities. So this is where we identify the big rocks. So we're almost at 2. So it's time to break. We will come back at 3. And when we come back at 3, we will start with this introduction session by a teacher from Isha Foundation. So we will, so I know that this person is bound to be here at 3, so we cannot postpone postpone the topic that he is covering. So after his talk, after his session, or after his part of the session, we will come back to the remaining part of this planning part. And then we will end today's day with a short meditation, the meditation for success. See, through this day today, what we have done, We have looked at what does success mean for us? What is it that I want to achieve in life? We have looked at some goals that we would want to achieve in, say, 2 months, 1 year, 3 years, whatever. So I would say in this break, while you have lunch, you can just think a little bit more about those goals as to, okay, this is my life mission statement. So in 3 years, I want to do this, or 2 years, I want to do this, 6 months, I want to do this. Just give them some thought. The meditation that we will do at the end of the day, we will try to, we will try to put energy into those goals so that they become a reality. Okay. So the quiz of the next session will be done after. The quiz that we will have in the next session will be done after this this resource person's talk. Okay. So when the talk is happening, please don't bother about the quiz. Be with the talk, stay with the talk. And after the talk, please proactively and actively engage with the speaker there. If you have any questions, clarify them from him or her. And the quiz will come later. Don't worry. We will handle the quiz. Quiz will be there. We will handle it. Don't worry about it. Okay. So thank you, guys. It was a good session. I hope that your Sunday, I'm making it something useful for you, that the life mission statement and the way of how to make it a reality, what we are looking at it now, I hope that these will be meaningful for you and bring about a positive change in your lives. So see you at 3 then. Have a good lunch. And at 3, please join on time, because this guy would join at 3. He has another appointment, I know, and he would leave in between, in between the session, and that is when we'll cover this remaining part of this up. But what he's going to talk about is also very powerful. It was life-changing experience for me again. So I would say that just be there on time and be with the process. Okay. Thank you, guys. See you at 3 p.m. then. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.